Welcome, superstars, to the Kayfabe Soup podcast experience. We are in episode 7. Today I am joined by Habes, PBR, and the intern. Also, this week we will have a Argyle-less experience. Would you guys like to say hi?
Hey, by the way, if you would have listened to my SmackDown review, you should know that I'm no longer the intern. I am now Maple Joe of the SmackDown Live experience.
That's right, Maple Joe.
At least according to that letter I got from Vince McMahon telling me, change your name, damn it!
I'm still PBR. I haven't changed my name, but I will say I'm not a big fan of this not getting the top billing experience with Habes there, number 1.
Habes is number 1. That's right. Habes is here. But wait a minute. The Foxy experience is not here tonight? Where is the Sockman Argyle?
Our ship is adrift. We just go where the wind goes tonight.
This is going to be something. An experience, if you will.
It'll be an experience.
It will be an experience, exactly. No, Argyle decided to leave the Kayfabe Soup office early this week and head to Vegas. So,
did he take a personal day?
Yeah.
Does he have enough time saved up for that? Are we paying him for that?
I don't know, man.
I vote no.
I would also vote no. I'm not 100% sure, though.
I think he has gained 0.101 hours for every hour spent since.
Oh yeah, that sounds about right.
Born.
Yeah.
So maybe he's earned himself a paid vacation day. Maybe.
As long as he's not taking money out of our Patreon account. Speaking of which, I think
that was a real slick transition. I love it, and I will pick it up right from there. As intern just alluded to, Patreon. I know you've heard about it so far, but maybe you haven't. I'm going to tell you about what we've got going on over there because it's exciting stuff. For starters, we have the Predictions Game Season 4 coming up. That is 2 different tiers. It's $2 a month or $5 a month. $2 a month. SmackDown Conference. Compete for the North American Championship. That comes with a prize. Probably t-shirts, but who knows? We've got all kinds of things up our sleeves. The Raw Conference. You compete for 2 different titles, the Kayfabe Soup Heavyweight Championship and the Intercontinental Championship. And that one, the Kayfabe Soup Heavyweight Championship, actually will be a real title belt. Specifics on that to be determined later, but it will be a real belt. The other thing that's super awesome that we're doing for Season 4 for both conferences is characters create a superstar. So it's going to be awesome. Check out the Patreon tomorrow. I'm going to be posting the form to create your superstar. So you have several weeks to think about it, figure out, get creative, come up with something awesome. But this year, the Season 4 storylines, it's going to be great. On top of all of that, we also have the $10 tier, which is the Fantasy Wrestling League. Now, the deadline for Season 1 is already passed. We're going to have 3 leagues of 7 people each. And that gets started in May. Keep an eye on it. You can see how the coverage goes, how the gameplay goes, how much fun everybody's having. And then in May and June, get on there, sign up for Season 2. It's only a 10-week season, so you don't have to wait too long to get in on the next one. But the winner of that at the end of the year will also have an awesome belt. And it's going to be exciting stuff. And along the way, we'll have prizes for the predictions games, the high scores. There's all kinds of fun stuff going on over on the Patreon. We also have my long-form articles and intern's long-form articles, which I believe he will tell you about.
Sadly, my long-form articles do not come with prizes, unless you count the ability to read my work uncensored a prize, which you should.
I do.
I do as well. But yeah, basically, I just starting with the post-WrestleMania season. I figured, hey, it's a new season for WWE. It's a new season for us. I'm gonna keep my work on Facebook, just for I guess out of habit. But I'm also gonna start SmackDown Live and 205 Live reviews every Tuesdays onto Patreon. These are available for free, so you don't have to be subscribed in order to get access to them. That being said, we would also love it if you would subscribe so you could access my Vintage Intern articles, which I drop every non pay per view Sunday. That's where I take a look at classic wrestling content from the Monday Night Wars, episodes of Raw, episodes of Nitro, the Clash of Champions shows, the pay per views. Lots of horrible jokes about how horrible Hulk Hogan is. That are less
Accurate.
jokes and more me shooting shooting from the hip.
All right, and that's our Patreon. So let's get right into Raw and this Superstar Shakeup. Where are we at? We're gonna start. I have the list in front of me. We're gonna start off by just going off this list. We're gonna start off with AJ Styles showing up on Raw.
Yeah, so all throughout the show, it was teased that that Seth Rollins and Roman Reigns would team up against McCorbly one last time, and spoiler alert, thanks to the way things shake up on Tuesday, it will be one last time, thank goodness. But they would have a mystery partner. Now, I don't know about all you guys out there. I know as soon as I saw that, every time they show the graphic, the mystery partner, I'm just like, it's AJ Styles. It's AJ Styles. It just seemed like the most obvious choice, but
yeah, I gotta say it's one of those that I don't know if I would say it was obvious for that exact situation, but I would say that AJ Styles going to Raw in general was it was obvious and it also needed to happen. I mean, it's not like AJ was getting stale on SmackDown, but he's faced everyone over there. He's been there for 3 years, so
yeah,
it was time for him to move over to Raw. And just my personal opinion, since I'm the one that has to cover Raw, I'm very excited about it. I'm sorry for your loss, but I'm very excited to have AJ Styles in my reviews from this point forward.
To be honest, I've seen AJ go through enough frustrating storylines over on SmackDown that I'll suck the loss up. I'll take it.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to the eventual Styles Rollins match.
Oh yeah, goodness, that's gonna be so good.
PBR. Was that the match you have eyed up versus Rollins?
That's the one that I really want him to get to. I mean, obviously, I hope they don't rush it. I can see that being a SummerSlam main event, though, for sure.
Oh yeah. Do you think? I kind of feel like AJ now he doesn't have to be the top guy. He's gonna be the number 2 guy. Why not a heel turn? That could be something I might actually watch Raw for.
It could happen.
I do feel like AJ did his best character work as a heel. # beat up John Cena.
Yep. Well, let's not forget about the time he put Shane McMahon through a car window that just happened to have a camera in the back seat of the car.
That was pretty magical.
Good time.
Ladies and gentlemen, you've been visited by your captain.
The ghost of Argyle's here.
Actually sounds like a ghost.
Yeah, totally sounds horrible too. You missed my check, bro.
I'm in a bathroom right now.
Awesome. The bathroom experience.
Right?
Are you in line to buy a T-shirt at Double or Nothing? There's no other reason you could be in Vegas, right?
Yeah, I'm here hanging out with Cody and Kenny Omega at the moment.
Sweet.
Oh, all right, makes sense.
All right. Next on the list we have The Miz. I know intern here was a little disappointed. He talked about this a couple of weeks back on the podcast, saying how don't you dare take The Miz away from him, and it's eventually what happened.
I did have a more direct response to this in my written SmackDown review, but I repeat it without dropping cusses, so we'll leave it at that.
I'll say the same thing I said last time with AJ Styles, only I'll say it with a little bit more gloating, because I do believe personally that the captain and myself are responsible for that, since we said out loud that we wanted it. It's like how Edge and Christian strapped the rocket to people. The captain and I have the ability to make things happen by wishing for it out loud on this podcast.
That's true. We're pulling some strings here, making things happen for The Miz, I guess.
I'm just saying, we're
so much.
I was half hot about The Miz going to Raw, because look at this. The last 2 shakeups, 3 shakeups. He gets real hot on SmackDown. They send him to Raw for a year. Just kind of does, just lays in the weeds. and then gets fired up again on SmackDown. So I don't know. I hope
How about how about
hope the
this?
best.
WrestleMania, he loses to Shane McMahon. 2 weeks later, he gets shipped off of the show that generally doesn't feature Shane McMahon. So there we go. He doesn't even get proper fun closure on that storyline.
I'm going to disagree on that just because I think I wouldn't be surprised to see Shane popping up sporadically on Raw, just as part of the whole McMahon. And I think the idea is keeping them apart for a while because obviously if they're going to have another match or more interactions, then it's going to be kind of on a bigger stage. And there isn't really a big stage coming up until August. So I think the idea is to keep them apart for a while and then they can kind of revisit it closer to a bigger show.
I'm certainly hoping that Shane pops up on SmackDown and basically alludes to that. Make a lot of sense. That would appease part of my rage.
Yeah, and they can kind of take shots at each other from their respective nights. More of a verbal feud than a physical.
I don't know. I think they already took enough shots at each other. Did you see that the blood gushing down Miz's face after those punches?
Oh, geez.
The one time in human history Shane McMahon connects with a punch.
Yeah, right. And then he connected too much. Go figure.
Yep. But then and then Miz got some revenge by hitting him with a chair, standing triumphantly, blood rushing down his head like it was 1980s or he was in Starrcade in '86 or something. Okay,
right.
No, he was nowhere near that bloody. I'm pretty sure the fans were bleeding more than that by the end of Starrcade '86.
I will say this regarding The Miz. I mean, since he's been wrapped up in the Shane McMahon thing since, November, the Crown Jewel thing.
Yeah.
He's been wrapped up in that for so long. Now that he's on Raw, what do you think his first kind of feud is going to be? What's his first program on Raw?
Well, originally I was thinking maybe he'd go for a mid card title, but as you'll see later on, later right now. Right now, I'm not even entirely sure where he fits into the equation.
Well, we'll just have to keep watching to find out, won't we? That's how they get us.
Yeah, that's how they get us.
Yeah, so the GRJ is stepped out for a moment, but the next one on the list. He's back. Okay, never mind. Oh, thank God! I almost had to temporarily host for a minute, and I got scared.
No, sorry about that. Okay, so next on the list we have Ricochet and Aleister Black.
Yeah, they finally committed.
Yeah, these guys were the free agents going back and forth from Raw and SmackDown. I don't know why they're keeping them as a team. These guys are so much better as singles competitor. This is kind of like the male version of not her, Sasha Banks and Bailey, but none of them suck.
Nice.
Nor have any of them tried to quit yet.
Right. I think this is an interesting case because the idea of them being on Raw and the whole Shakeup thing is actually not even the discussion point. The discussion point is, like you just said, why are they a team? I know the tag team division is suffering, and less so now, but we'll get to that later on the list. But the tag team division on Raw has been suffering. But these two guys are so good individually that if they want to make them a team, sure, but they should still be showcased individually at least half the time.
Yeah. Like I feel like this is one of those where like if they let's just say like if they're going against the Revival, like give Ricochet a match against Dawson by himself.
And that's how they book tag teams anyway. That's how they build tag team feuds. They'll just have random singles for 3 weeks and different variations of the teams.
Yeah, exactly. But they haven't done any of that. Like it's always them together and.
Well, and now the new meta is always either 8-man tags or fatal 4-way tag matches.
Well, let's not forget your 18-man or 18-person mixed tag that week before WrestleMania.
Yeah, I don't know about the 18 tag, but
that's a bit much. It was a little overkill.
Yeah, but the other ones, I feel like somebody finally started watching New Japan because they do those a lot.
Usually, WWE really only does it if they're trying to set up, like they're trying to work on 2 feuds at once. They're like, whatever, throw them into the same tag match together and make it 6 minutes with a commercial break in the middle.
Maybe GRJ can help me out with this, but why 6-man tags, 8-man tags work so much better in New Japan than they do in WWE?
Well, I can't speak to
Probably
the effect. Go ahead. I'll give
I
a
was
little, my 2 cents
I,
after.
I was honestly gonna say just timing. Like Brett just shoot.
But
Sorry, making
like
kayfabe here.
we actually get really good 6-man tags.
Okay,
Like,
hold on, dude. You're breaking up really bad. Um, but yeah, like it's just timing, you know. PBR here said the you go on WWE, you have an 8-man tag, and it goes 6 minutes with the commercial break. New Japan, you got at least an 8-man, and they're going a good 20 minutes. You know.
And they actually,
And tell a story with a multi-man match.
hey, WWE
Yeah.
matches tell a story. That story is everyone gets in to hit a couple of their spots, then they tag out, and leads to that moment where everyone comes into the ring illegally, hits signature, gets hit by signature, repeat until finish. That's a story, right?
I thought the
Yeah.
story was just that we should all be buying Nugenics.
But yeah.
Uh,
Where are we? Next we have Eric and Ivar. Can somebody talk to me
Who?
about that?
oh, the fart noise experience. Wait,
Oh,
that wasn't
God.
it. The Viking experience. Fun story. I actually missed the first little bit of Raw because I was getting set up after I finished work, so I didn't get to hear their introduction live. I heard the name being mentioned as the Viking experience. So I'm just like, oh great, that's a stupid little nickname Cole came up with, or the WWE came up with like sassy Southern Belle.
Right, if
Then I
only.
start hearing stuff about Eric and Ivar, and I'm just like, wait, who? And then the match ends, and your winners, Ricochet, Aleister Black, and the Viking Experience! And my mind just kind of exploded into a million pieces. And yeah, I don't know if I could repeat the rest of my reaction without using every curse word I know.
Here's my 2 cents on it. I from everything that I've heard, the idea was that Vince didn't want the word war. And he wanted to change the name so that they weren't war on television. Because, I mean, NXT is obviously not a televised thing that people see. But I digress. So you're going to change the name, right? So Viking, I don't have a problem with Viking. The Viking Experience sounds like an exhibit at Universal Studios and not a wrestling, tag team name. It's twofold problem. Number one, experience is a stupid word. They could have just said the Vikings. Or I read a rumor that his first thought was to call them the Berserkers, which I would have popped for that. I love nostalgic names or whatever.
We all
like if
would
you
have
have to,
popped for that.
yeah, if you have to change the name, then you change the name. That's fine. Whatever your reasoning is. What I hate the most about it was, why are they Eric and Ivar? Like, why can't they still be Hanson and Rowe, the Viking Experience? Like, at least if they were still Hanson and Rowe, it would be more palatable. What did you say, Habes?
He's not Rowe. He's Eric.
Or Ivar. I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't know which one's which.
I don't remember which. Yeah.
I was watching. When I was watching Takeover the night before or the 2 nights before WrestleMania, I was sitting there like, okay, I finally know which one's Rowe and which one's Hanson. And now that I finally understand it, now they changed the names again.
They just
Fantasy booking, though, I do kind of wish they split the Viking Experience up, split Rowan away from Daniel Bryan, then hook Eric and Rowan up together. You see where I'm going?
Yep. I want to see Eric Rowan and Rowe have a match for the rights to be Rowe or Rowan.
Of course, I also want to see the WWE bring Stu Bennett back, have him feud with Rowe, or feud with Rowe, and have the Rowe versus Wade feud.
Come on, man.
I like it.
But yeah, the Viking
experience.
Okay,
I mean, we could do a whole hour on why that's stupid. It's mind-boggling.
But you know what though? It's a bit of a devil's advocate take, and a part of me is kind of glad it happened, just because of the way the internet has reacted to it and all the hilarity that's come from it.
That's true.
I'm gonna hate it every week when I hear it on Raw, but at the very least, I love the internet's reaction to it.
Yes, and hey, as Vince would say, Well, they're talking about it, pal. Means it's working.
Yeah, exactly. If you're talking about something, it clearly is a good thing.
Mm-hmm.
It
So
was
this is
enjoyable on Monday night for sure. Definitely enjoyable.
Yes.
yeah,
But yeah,
I don't know.
like I
Okay,
said, I can't say much more without cursing. So
pretty much, yeah. It was horrible. Moving on from that train wreck of names, we have somebody who just lost their last name, Andrade and Selena Vega.
can I just say I thought their appearance on the show was absolutely brilliant. Such great trolling with the Vegas saying, "Hey, Andrade is going to address you all in your native language," and he starts out with speaking French, merci, and then he starts going off of them on Spanish, and the crowd just heats up big time. And I'm just sitting there going, "Oh, this is the absolute best."
That is some
Yeah.
great heel work.
Yeah, since I forgot, I don't know if it was NXT or when he first went up to the main roster. One of the things that I said is like, let him speak in Spanish. He comes off so fluent. It comes off normal just because I could understand it, and
Well,
then
it's his
just
first language.
no, but I'm saying because like because he has Selena Vega as his voice in English. Let
Oh,
her
I
talk her
gotcha.
crap and just let him do and it came out great. Like he was up against Finn on Raw, and they gave him the win. Did I see that happening? I'm gonna be 100% honest. No, I did not. I'm
Yeah,
happy
that's a surprise for sure.
No, but at the same time, Raw featured no less than 3 X's Pin the Y champion moments. So
Those are your
I guess-
favorites.
those are the best.
The only
The
thing that
best
would have been
criticism-
better is if one was a tag match and they were just thrown together, and then you'd have X's pin the Y chain. Can they coexist?
Ooh, actually, that kind of did happen because War Raiders and the Revival had to work
Well, that's
together.
true.
We don't
That's
really know
the
anything
8-man
about
they
them.
got thrown together.
Now, the best part though is Andrade pitting the Intercontinental Champion is completely meaningless. Normally, it would build to a title match, but as you'll find out when we get later in the podcast, yeah, that's going to get completely negated. Oops.
Yeah, like
Spoiler alert, man.
yeah. I guess we could talk about that when we get to SmackDown. So moving on, Rey Mysterio. He actually, I just remember him getting attacked by Lars Sullivan.
He interrupted Elias.
Yeah, that was
That's
it.
right. It was Elias. That's
Elias has been like a magnet for legends lately.
Yeah, he's basically. Oh my goodness, Heath Ledger or Heath man band, and he went through that storyline of getting destroyed by legends. Elias is literally a one-man band. Ugh.
Hey
Yep.
guys, think about this with Rey Mysterio, the matches he can have with Lashley, Baron Corbin. I'm just thinking right now, Rey Mysterio might be the biggest ad for Raw. Thinking about his possible matches.
Yeah, there's definitely no shortage of little guy versus big guy matches they can have, and we already see that he's got a possible reason for a feud with Lars.
Well,
Yeah.
Lars
I have,
isn't out
but
at
here's
all.
my 2 cents on Rey Mysterio. I think Habes is right. Like, it's a big name, bring a lot of eyeballs. I think it would be more effective if he had actually been utilized in some way on SmackDown. Like, I
That's
get
the
that,
thing. I think he's
but yeah,
going to
they
be more
haven't
of
really.
a top guy, but he'll be more of a top guy on Raw.
Well,
than he ever
he'll
was on
certainly
SmackDown.
get more TV time. A 3-hour show means they're going to have a lot more space for him. So I think,
Someone's got to wrestle, our Applebee's waiter. For,
hey, he's
for
an
6
assistant
months straight.
manager. He's moving up the ladder. All right, don't poo-poo his accomplishments.
Oh, he's not at Applebee's. Their
But
service. Oh, no.
before
He's at,
before we get away from Rey Mysterio, I just want to say I hope that they do that because, as you know, I have a Grand Slam Champion series. It's been my life's work for the last year or so, and he is one United States title away from being a Grand Slam champion. So we got Kofi. Now we just need to get Ray, and then I'll have more work to do. And I like having wrestling work to do. So if they can maybe get the U.S. title to Raw, which may or may not happen, to Ray, I'd be a happy guy.
hey, to get more
Yeah,
off
that's
track. To get more
that
off
was
track.
more of my thing. Like, how are they gonna get a mid? I guess a mid-tier title on Raw with Finn and Joe both on SmackDown.
I wouldn't be surprised to see Joe show up next week. I mean, I think maybe the only reason they didn't do it this week was because if Joe had showed up, then it would have been obvious that Finn was going to show up the next night.
Also,
so I think they might have kept Joe off for that.
The buzz I'd heard online too is that Joe was actually sick this week.
That would do it too.
Even though Vince McMahon believes there's no sick, so I don't know how true that is.
He sneezed once and Vince sent him home without pay.
Maybe that's what happened to EC3.
One time. Well, you guys know what? Joe was wrestling cross brands like all the way through the first crown jewel match there in Saudi Arabia last year, like after the Shakeup. He was still feuding with Roman on SmackDown when they were on different
that's
brands
true too.
Yeah, that nothing ever became of that now that I think about it.
Yeah, so
weird.
Other than me making a million jokes about two Samoans named Joe fighting.
Probably.
But wait. Totally unrelated for a second. Intern, say the thing again where you said maybe that's what happened to EC3. Say that again.
Maybe that's what happened to EC3.
Don't you mean E-sneeze 3?
Oh, I see what you did there.
I had to get my weekly dad joke in. I'm done now. You guys go.
Oh my god! All right.
Becky Lynch joined the podcast.
All right. Moving on, we have the Usos, Jimmy and Jay.
Yes.
Yeah, that was not a surprise to me. I mean, when them losing to the Hardys last week, I kind of thought they were on their way over, but still, it was a nice welcome surprise to see them face off against the team of Bobby Roode and Chad Gable, also called the Usos. If you look at the graphic that popped up.
Yep. I think much like AJ Styles, the Usos have accomplished everything there is to accomplish on SmackDown. So they also weren't getting stale. They put on great matches, but they will benefit huge from the new faces to match up with. And me personally, this was my favorite acquisition for Raw because I love me some Usos even more than Styles and The Miz. I'm very excited to have the Usos.
If it gives me some Usos revivals matches on pay-per-view, you can have the Usos.
yes, that'll be very good.
That's the number one match I want to see is Revival versus.
Yeah, well, that maybe the Usos against the Viking Experience.
Oh, and
you know what? I would actually not hate the Viking Experience name if it was in an Usos match. I'd be like, you know what? If this is what I have to deal with to get this match,
hold on. Allow me to correct myself. The Viking Experience against the Samoan Experience. There we go.
That's it on that.
It was awesome.
Next we have Naomi, who I don't remember showing up at all, but apparently she did.
She showed up because apparently Bailey needed to work with another African American tag team partner for the night. So Naomi filled in for Sasha, and they got an X's Pin the Y champion victory over the Iconics. Yay!
What is it with WWE doing that? Because I mean, we'll get into it with SmackDown and one of their acquisitions later, but it's like, is it Vince? Is it creative? Where they're just like, I don't know. Let's take the two African American women and make them a tag team because
yes,
why not? Why is that such a thing?
I don't know. I don't know. I guess he still believes in segregation.
What's the next one? I don't have anything to add on Naomi.
Yeah, neither do I. We already talked about him, but it's EC3.
Oh, poor guy. You might as well call him Muhammad Hassan II.
Yeah.
He literally got the exact same treatment of that Undertaker gave Hassan, choke slammed through the stage after getting literally zero offense in his quote match unquote against Braun Strowman.
Yeah, when was the last time EC3 won a match? Has he won a match? Is he the next Kurt Hawkins?
No, he did beat Dean Ambrose once. I think it was his first match on Raw in 2 minutes with a roll-up, and I don't think he's won.
I remember that. Yep, I remember that.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. I don't know.
I'm calling him the jobbing experience.
That's
I,
pretty much
I
it.
I I don't really have anything on EC3 just because I don't like. Cool, he's committed to Raw. That's exciting. He's not going to do anything different than he was doing before, and it's a shame because he's good. And I don't get it. He's got the look. He's got the talent. I don't know anything about his mic skills because they don't let him talk. But I just don't see him doing anything beyond what he's doing right now.
Which is basically nothing and jobbing, depending on the week.
Right.
Yeah, pretty much. Honestly, when this guy showed up in NXT, I did not care for him. Same thing. Apparently, Vince doesn't either, or he messed up royally somewhere in the back. But we talked about this earlier. One of the things is people mess up in the back. Like when they mess up, when like they get somebody upset, it comes out. The internet finds out.
Mm-hmm.
There's nothing on EC3 on why he's being treated like that.
That makes me think it must be like the rumors about and banging Steph level of bad, where no one wants to talk about it.
I don't know.
I
In my
hate it
experience,
that way.
wrestling fans love talking about that.
Wrestling fans do, but no one in the company does.
Oh yeah.
That's true, yeah.
I get you there.
All right. Moving on from EC3, we have Lacey Evans.
That's
Yeah,
my girl.
she actually got to
Yeah.
talk and wrestle. It was I'm not used to it.
I'm intrigued because I remember when she first started showing up, and then she was in the Royal Rumble, and they gave her a good showing there. She was in there for I think a solid half hour. Maybe got an elimination or two. It's off the top of my head, I don't remember, but it looked like that was going to be her, like an impetus to a push. And then they started having her do this goofy like walk down to the ring and then turn and go away. And at first, my biggest gripe with Evans was when she started, her Tron graphic was very military inspired, and they kind of talked about she has an actual like military background, and I thought, wow, that's cool. Like makes her. And then they switched, like they went all in on this sassy Southern Belle thing, and it's all flowery and all this stuff. And I'm glad she's doing something and gonna get a chance, make a name for herself here. But I wish it was still with that like military theme instead of this very generic sassy Southern Belle character.
Here's a fantasy booking question for you. We had mentioned earlier the thought about AJ going heel. How cool would it be to see AJ go heel, then him and Lacey to get together as a Southern alt-right power couple?
Shut up. No. No. No.
Flat Earth experience?
Oh, that would be
Oh, that
such a
was
great
horrible.
name.
Well,
No.
guys, look at the women's roster on Raw. It's kind of thin. No one
Oh,
likes to say it,
SmackDown
but
definitely came out on top in the women's
Yeah.
division. That's
Yeah.
for sure.
like Lacey Evans is being slotted as the top heel on
Well, yeah, going right after
Raw.
Becky.
And I mean, Becky Two Belts is probably going to be Becky Monday Night Raw. That's what I'm think. But dude, Lacey Evans is in the top spot. I mean, who else is on Raw?
There's Ruby Riott, who's about probably 20 miles buried under the earth. So.
Which is a
God,
damn shame because she's
I-
so good.
Yes.
And I don't know why she doesn't get
Thank
like
you.
any kind of a push.
Yes, I feel like she should be top. Sorry about
Even
that.
even Sarah Logan, like I think when Ruby Riott and the Riot Squad came in, Logan and Morgan had like a ways to go. And over the last year or so, both of them, in my opinion at least, have improved a ton to the point that when at WrestleMania in the Women's Battle Royal, when it looked like Sarah Logan had won before Carmella came back in there, I was really excited. I was like, I didn't even realize I liked Sarah Logan this much, but here we are. I'm really excited for her.
Yeah,
So
same.
I wish that they would make something more of the women that they have on Raw, but and maybe they will now. It's just over the last few months they were so set on the Becky, Charlotte, Ronda story that nobody else got any time. So maybe now they will. Hopefully.
Yeah, hopefully. Moving
surprised
on
not
from
to
Lacey.
see-
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
No, I was just saying I was surprised not to see sexy Charlotte, aka Mandy Rose, not go to Raw.
I
She
would have
showed up.
I would have been full Corey Graves mode if that had happened.
Right.
Oh man, if you would have had both Alexa and Mandy, I might have had to quit.
Right, Alexa Bliss is still on Raw.
Damn right she is.
Yep.
Maybe she'll start working. We'll see.
She did have a match. Was that last week? Like
Yeah.
they put her back in the ring, which
Yeah,
is a good sign.
Had her beat Bailey in 2 minutes.
That's right. That's right.
Okay. Moving on, we have Eric Young from Sanity.
Yeah, he was. He had a really big, a really big moment where he was shown on screen and on a graphic.
I will be amazed if he has a televised match at all in the next couple weeks. I mean, I believe he's the old one from Sanity, right? Like he's in his 40s, or
Yeah.
at least close to it.
Yeah, he's older.
Yeah, I don't see him really doing much. He's probably
It's a
just on Raw for house show purpose.
Hey, he might be the one guy EC3 gets to beat occasionally.
Not on
God, I
TV
hope
though.
not.
Well,
I
no.
hope not. Eric
Well,
Young
Hawkins
is such a great
gets
talent.
it for now.
Like, if you give him the chance, Homeboy will do it.
Oh yeah,
really
in
is.
NXT, Sanity was solid. You know that
Yeah.
War Games match they had is still one of my favorite NXT matches of all time.
Yeah, one of my favorite moments watching NXT was just I can't remember which match it was, but just the realization: wait, Alexander Wolf is really good.
Yeah,
Oh, speaking of him, did he or what's his deal? Anyone really
Ryan
knows?
Ryan Satin claims that he's getting shifted back to NXT.
he's
And then he's
still
under
on the Wikipedia. He's still listed as SmackDown, and I know really reliable, but wrestling fans are very dependable in the sense that they immediately go to Wikipedia to update everything.
Well, that and David
So if
Meltzer.
something had broken, that would have changed. But at least, as for now, he's still listed on SmackDown.
Yeah,
Well,
but
hope
I
he
also
goes
heard the
to NXT.
rumors. Go ahead.
Oh, I was to say I hope he goes to NXT UK because he'd be utilized.
Yeah, that's what I
he'd
was
be
thinking.
utilized at either one more than he's being utilized now. But yeah, NXT UK would be a good one to like get a bigger name just to maybe draw some American eyeballs over there, like with a name that they recognize.
Yeah, but he didn't really do much in SmackDown Live to get that
Well,
name.
that's true. That's true.
You know,
Yeah.
and I don't know. I like the guy. Think he's a great worker, but yeah, they wasted him on on SmackDown Live.
That's putting it mild. Who's our last one from Raw?
Cedric Alexander from
Oh,
205 Live.
yes.
Yeah.
This one was a real exciting one because I mean I love all the 20. Such a good show, and I really wish WWE would make an effort to get people to watch it. I didn't like when they would have meaningless 3-minute 6-person tags on Raw. That was not helpful because then everybody saw that and went, well, that was dumb. I'm not watching 205 Live. No matter how good those 3 minutes were, it was just pointless. But now it's almost worse because they don't even mention 205 Live anymore. Like if you watch Raw and SmackDown and you aren't like you're kind of a new or casual fan, you could very legitimately have no clue 205 Live exists. And it's really a shame. So I'm glad to see Cedric and the other one that we'll get into in the second half here get onto a main roster in the way that the former Mustafa Ali did a few months ago. And I think that's, it's these guys deserve it. And if that's what it takes to get them in front of more people, then bring them up. I love it. I'm excited for that.
Fun unpopular opinion. I was also excited to see Cedric Alexander go to Raw because now I don't have to review his matches that infuriate me with his John Cena psychology.
You mean the one where he takes like 0 damage and then just hops back up and then
he takes
and then hits the lumbar check?
Yeah, he sells damage, and yeah, hops back up 0% or 100% life, hits all of his signatures, and it just basically negates everything that happened in the match beforehand. It's the literal only thing I don't like about Cedric Alexander. Don't get me wrong.
He should tag with the champion Seth Rollins. That'd be great.
I wouldn't mind that. That would be like the we'll sell when we feel like it match.
The No Sell Express.
No, the no sell experience.
Experience.
Yeah. I hope whoever's
intern-
listening. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
I was gonna say, I hope whoever's listening is counting how many times we have said experience so far, and at the end could give us a total of how many times we said
Damn,
experience.
I should have tallied. Like
know
we
if he
knew
took-
we were going to
yeah.
do this going in. I should have gotten a notepad ready.
I know if he took a
Right.
shot for every time I typed experience in my SmackDown review, you'd probably be in the morgue.
Yeah, you wouldn't be here because you'd be dead.
Yeah.
I was going to say, before we move on to SmackDown, just intern, real quick question with Cedric. You've watched a lot more since you have to review 205 or get to, depending on your point of view. Is it just me, or is that lumbar check one of the most protected finishers on any WWE roster?
I can only think of I could probably count the amount of times it's been kicked out of on one hand.
Right. And I think they were all like pay-per-view, well, or kickoff show, like title matches. Like I know
Yeah,
Buddy Murphy
basically.
kicked out of it couple times, but it seems like that's almost like the RKO in the sense that it's still treated like well, that's it, it's done type move.
Which makes it all the more infuriating when he gets to kick out of other people's finishers.
Every time.
Yep.
All right. I'm done with Cedric Alexander now. I'm looking forward to his matches.
I'm
and now
literally
we
done
move
with
on.
Cedric Alexander.
Yes, you are.
All right. Now let's get into the intern's new toys of who gets to talk about on these SmackDown recaps. First, we're going to start off with Otis and Tucker.
Yeah, they appeared on the show not at all. They were only mentioned on WWE.com. Pretty stoked to have them there. I kind of hate what they've become on the main roster. Or they've gone from whatever, I don't even know how to describe it on NXT, to basically being two large Eugenes.
Pretty
Oh man.
But they're still a lot of fun. So I look forward to seeing them do things, hopefully good things on the tag team roster.
I wish you didn't say that. That's how I'm going to view them from now on.
If they start acting more like they did on NXT, I will retract that Eugene statement. I'm just going based on how they've been acting on their main roster appearances so far.
Yeah.
I didn't see a ton of their NXT match because I'm a terrible person and I have had the network for 5 years, and I still don't watch the weekly NXT on a regular basis. But when they do that Bushwhackers walk, were they doing that at least in NXT, or is that something new that they started doing on the main roster?
Pretty sure that was a main roster edition.
Yeah,
because I kind of like it, but I don't like what they've become as characters. So I was hoping that it'd be like the
least you're not looking
Caterpillar, like that's sort of something they've always done.
Yeah.
Yeah. The only thing I remember from NXT that they would do is
Yeah.
Yes.
That's it.
And I'm cool with
Other
that. I
than
like that slogan.
Right? That's something you slap on a t-shirt, and then I don't go to the gym, but I'm pretty sure people at the gym would be like, hell yeah, steaks and weights, let's do this. All right.
Yeah.
Oh, a guy.
Simpsons, let's go.
Yeah.
Next, we have somebody that I'm pretty sure Habes is upset about because we don't get Monday Night MILF. Mickey James.
You can get a Tuesday night MILF, right? That's fine.
We didn't even get a Tuesday Night MILF this week because she was also just added on the .com.
Oh.
No appearance on the show.
Hmm.
I should also, full disclosure, I feel like a good half of the people that transferred over from Raw didn't make SmackDown this week.
Well, that does make a difference that they only have 2 hours, whereas Raw has 3.
Yeah.
So you only have so much space to include the new people, and you still have to have your existing people on.
Well, I don't know. No, it seems to me like that one women's segment, they threw half of the roster in there anyway.
The gorilla position parade, but in the middle of the show for a change.
Exactly.
Oh, that's right. That's where Becky Lynch just kind of like, yeah, I'm gonna walk out.
that was pretty great.
Yeah, that was great. I just because she was standing there for a second and she's kind of like, do I stay? Do I leave? You guys, you girls, you do your own thing. I'm gonna go leave, before this gets ugly. I thought that was great.
Yeah.
Yep. That's just smart.
Yeah, it is. Smart champion. Next up, we have Apollo Crews.
Unfortunately, his lovely smiling face was also not on SmackDown.
That's one where I wish you the best of luck. I love Apollo Crews as a talent, but I have lost faith entirely that they'll ever do anything with him. Maybe on
real talk.
they'll do something with him.
Yep. Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, that's all. I was just saying I really like him. I want him to be something. He's very, very talented, but they're not doing anything with him on Raw, so you can have him. Hopefully it works out for him.
Little real talk, I'm surprised Vince didn't have him replace Big E in the New Day.
Right, just because that would be his go-to. I always there was a part of me that always kind of wanted when Bobby Lashley first came back and he was just, smiling Bob. I kind of wanted him to team with Apollo Crews because Apollo Crews would just look like a miniature Bobby Lashley.
Yeah.
And they could both have that smile and just be like the goofiest, most terrible babyface tag team of all time.
Dang, I didn't even think of Bobby Lashley. I'm gonna add him to my little background picture. I have of Finn Balor and Apollo Crews smiling.
It'll be like the Smile and Bob experience.
Yeah, exactly. They get me through those tough times. I just look at my background and I'm like, you know what? You're right. I gotta smile. I gotta smile my way through this.
And
I love it, Nagel.
You can put babyface Ronda on there as well.
Oh yeah, that gee shucks, I'm happy to be here smile.
Okay, moving on. We have one. Well, this guy just they keep pulling him away from his tag teams, and they did it again. Chad Gable.
Yeah, I think if they actually do anything with him, it's a great get. We'll never know because he also wasn't featured on SmackDown. He was just added to the .com after the fact.
That one kind of surprised me because I thought eventually they were getting to one of him, either Gable or Rude, turning on the other one and then having a little program with each other. But I'm not mad about the fact that we didn't get it because I didn't think they were going to do much with it. Chad Gable, everything I just said about Apollo Crews applies to Chad Gable. He's super awesome. Unlike Apollo Crews, Gable can actually talk pretty well when he gets a chance, which is not very often.
And he knows how to not smile.
Yeah, he's super talented, and he wasn't going anywhere on Raw. So best of luck to him on SmackDown. Hopefully, it works out for him.
Just have him wrestle Cesaro or someone like that in the Endless Cycle, and I'll be happy.
Oh, that'd be great.
I would be all in on that match.
That would be so good.
I'd be double or nothing on that match.
Ooh. Yeah, well, I'd be Battle Riot too on that match.
Battle Riot. I tried to watch the Battle Riot 2 times now, and I fell asleep both times. Who won Battle Riot? Did you guys?
Wasn't it L.A. Park?
Really?
Maybe.
Really?
I'm just going off of what I heard. I haven't watched it yet.
I tried to watch it twice. I fell asleep both times. So okay.
Okay.
Wrong promotion. All right.
Yeah. Next up, I'm upset that she got pulled away from the team, but I hope they do really good things with her. Liv Morgan.
Who also did not appear on SmackDown. Let me just say, though, I'm really glad that long before this, they made the decision for Carmella to change her hair to red, because I'm pretty sure that, and Liv may change her hair color, because I'm pretty sure that if blonde Liv and blonde Carmella would have touched, it would have created a time-space paradox. But yeah, no, I'm kind of glad to see her in the sense that, hey, I like Liv Morgan. I think she's a good talent. Also, super sad because I thought her and the Riot Squad were great, but hey, maybe they'll actually do something with her now. It's I just cracked myself up.
Yeah, see,
this is one that. Sorry. This is one that I actually changed my initial feeling on. I was really mad that they split up the Riot Squad. But having had a couple days to think on it, I actually really like it because I think being part of the Riot Squad, if only because creative was not doing anything with them. They were like 3 talented wrestlers. Logan and Morgan both have come a long way in the last year, and it's great for them. But being a faction that wasn't going anywhere was holding all of them back. I think this will benefit all 3 of them because you'll have Liv Morgan potentially getting into a singles push type situation, maybe. And then over on Raw, that gives Sarah Logan a little bit more of a spotlight, and she and Riot can have more straight up tag team matches and, get into that like women's tag title contention. So I didn't like having them split up, but I think it's going to be better for all 3 since it's not like they were making waves as a trio anyway.
I'm going to go opposite on that. I
Yeah, me too.
thought them separating Morgan from the Riot Squad is a horrible idea. I felt with the tag titles coming in, obviously give Becky her time. One of the girls that could pull it off, that could take a title off her, should be Ruby Riot, and then you could give Morgan and I forgot her name. Crap.
Logan.
And Logan. You could probably give them a tag title run, if anything. But these three girls, they were great together. They were really good friends together. I don't know how much you guys follow them in their social media game, but they looked like they were really freaking close.
Yeah,
And then,
even just seeing them on Ride Along together, I really got that vibe.
yeah. But moving forward, I hope they do good with her. Um, but yeah, I'm not happy with them being split up.
My problem with Liv being on SmackDown, I don't have a problem with her going to SmackDown, but they added 5 names to the women's roster on SmackDown and took away what, one, Naomi. That's gonna
Yeah,
make it pretty
Yeah,
crowded.
it is pretty crowded for a
division.
2-hour show.
I mean,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I guess we're gonna see a lot more 8-women tags going forward.
Dude, we're about to
Oh,
go
that's
to
the worst.
18 tags.
Hey, at least those just end without anything happening.
Yeah, that's true. All right, moving on
See?
from the disappointment pull apart. We're gonna move on to
Something better.
the former cruiserweight champion Buddy Murphy.
Yeah, we actually got to see a little bit of him. He had a little selfie promo and introducing himself. He had a bigger fish to fry this week as he took on the Velveteen Dream on NXT, which, heck yeah, is my review of that. Okay, my PG review of that. Man, I'm stoked to see what he can do with some of the talent there. Him versus Ali we've already seen, but that's still gonna be a banger match when they have it. Him versus Finn. Spoiler alert. Sorry. There's a lot of possibilities. I think he's gonna really do good things there.
Yeah, he's been. I remember before WrestleMania, I kind of caught up on a lot of his matches, and I'm like, holy crap, this guy could go. I could see why they kept the title on him for quite a while.
Yeah.
So I'm excited. Yeah, him in SmackDown. I'm just hoping they don't use him since he's former 205 as some freaking feeder to like Roman Reigns and others.
Randy Orton.
Randy Orton, yeah, like I don't need to see that right now.
Well, even if they make him a feeder, can they at least make it a good feud? Like, have Buddy Murphy trying to prove himself, so he can play with the big boys. Oh no, this isn't WCW. No, but I think a Roman Reigns Buddy Murphy feud could be something really, really great, or a complete afterthought, wasted time.
Yeah, I don't know.
Oh,
Anybody
I'd much
else?
spoiler
rather see
alert, it's a
Roman
big
against
guy.
Cedric, to be honest, just to see both of them no sell all the damage in the match and hit each other with signatures.
Right. Okay. After Buddy, we have probably the one guy I hope they forget about. The one I really don't care out of this whole list is Lars Sullivan.
Yeah.
I'm
Well,
100% with you on that one. I
Well, you
just
don't-
find him
you don't-
absolutely boring. Even
You guys don't
take
like the
out
racist, homophobic freak?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Even without that,
yeah.
I find him boring. But with that as a factor, just Google search that. If you haven't heard that, just Lars Sullivan homophobic will get you there. Pop that in your Google machine.
Yeah,
have fun.
pretty much.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, he got to show up and demolish R-Truth, and looked like he was going to attack Carmella, which that was kind of fun, I guess. Yeah,
Well, given his internet history, he probably would.
Jesus. Yeah.
yeah,
Ugh.
but
What do you
yeah,
guys
Right.
think for Lars? Is he gonna take on Roman at SummerSlam? Like he's just gonna be a bully like all
of
summer?
course that match is like Blue Chew to Vince McMahon.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I don't get it because like this guy was supposed to come up when EC3 when Lacey Evans. When the NXT call-ups came around and just started hanging out in the back, Lars Sullivan was supposed to be one of those.
Yep.
Apparently, from rumors, I don't know if this is true or not, he got stage fright, for the lack of better words, which I find hilarious because if you do Google him and you find all the crap he talked about, that's one of the things he talked about. He's like, men should not get anxiety, this and that, and this is exactly what happened. Rumors, yeah. So I don't know. I don't know what's going on. Yeah, and then like I said before WrestleMania, he was supposed to come out. One of the big rumors for him, he was supposed to be the one going against John Cena, and that never happened. And then WrestleMania passed, and he's back. Like nothing ever happened. So.
And the crowd goes mild.
Yeah, at least now he gets to destroy old guys, most of whom who worked in TNA at one point. So there's that.
Yeah, that's true.
I liked his matches versus Killian Dane in NXT, so don't at me.
Oh, I forgot about those. Yeah, those were good.
Yeah, those were pretty good.
Yeah, but I think those were more of the things that Killian Dane was able to do, Because if you watch like a lot of his matches, even when he was tag teaming or when it was trios with Sanity, a lot of the big spots were just him doing it,
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's another name. I would like to see Killian Dane go do the NXT UK and just him versus Walter. That could be
that's the exact thing I was thinking.
That'd be great. All right, moving on from this guy, we have Kairi Sane, who showed up with Asuka.
Yeah, with Paige as their mouthpiece.
Yes,
I'm glad. Kairi Sane being up there is awesome and all, but I'm actually more excited that they actually found something for Paige to do because she's really good at the whole talking thing. So I'm surprised it took them this long to figure that out.
And Kairi aren't good at that. So
exactly.
Absolution was angry. I just
no, to be fair, it's their fault. They assumed that Paige was getting them back to, or was making them her team, even though they clearly hadn't talked about it with her. So that's on them.
Yep.
You know what? That's another name. I thought Sonya Deville would have went over to Raw, maybe build her up as a singles opposite.
Yeah, especially with Ronda taking time off.
Yeah.
Well, I think keeping the two of them together on SmackDown. I like the idea of having, because Deville and Rose work really well as a tag team. Like you just get a feeling that like Iconics are a natural tag team because they've been friends forever, their whole lives. But you get the feeling that Rose and Deville are an actual tag team, probably just because they came in as one with Absolution. But I like the idea of having tag teams on each show that are all legitimate tag teams, because then you get more of an opportunity for the titles to bounce around from show to show and more of the women's tag matches from other brands. I don't want all of the viable tag teams on the same show, is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, for sure. They kind of already forgot about them breaking up right before Mania.
Oh man, can they coexist storyline's just been so start and stop.
More so than Boss and Hug.
Yeah, it's basically at least they didn't need Dr. Shelby.
Dr. Shelby experience.
Yeah. You know what would have been really cool? For those of you that watch the Edge and Christian show, they've done a couple skits with Bailey playing a therapist.
Yes.
And it would have been super cool if they did like a tie-in with the Edge and Christian show, and then do the multiple filmings so that Bailey and Sasha went to Bailey the therapist for advice. That would have been pretty neat.
That'd be classic.
I wouldn't have hated it so much if they.
Especially when you see the episode where it turns out that Bailey just sits in her office and talks to herself and looks in the mirror anyway.
Oh hey, we were talking about Kairi Sane. My bad.
No, it's fine. Next up is Bailey.
Dropped a nice elbow.
Yeah, I mean, about to say Bailey wound up showing up in the same segment as Kairi Sane, and spoiler alert, one more person with that big, let's get every single woman on the roster out here and have a promo parade and then turn it to an everybody fights and turn it to an 8-woman tag. That just made my mind melt. But
Yeah, that's right. To throw another name in there who also popped out, Ember Moon, just so we could throw these girls in one shot.
yeah, she came
That
up
one
and kind of
bums
very.
me out hardcore.
Could you?
Yeah, I don't blame you. It bummed me out when she grabbed the microphone and cut a super porntastic promo, but then she got in the ring and wrestled, and I was like, oh yeah, this is why I like her.
Yeah,
Not because
talking
she's
is not her strong suit.
Especially when she uses words like "shenom." Ugh, gross.
Yeah, that one
So
made me chuckle because I've been dealing with that for a while. Not so much from her because she didn't get a ton of mic time on Raw, but it was definitely a buzzword on commentary on maybe half of her Raw appearances. The word "shenom" would get dropped at some point.
maybe that's why I didn't notice it so much. I have a tendency to filter out raw commentary until it just sounds like white noise and ooh.
Wait, are you implying that the Raw commentary isn't insightful and informative?
I think this is the problem with my brain.
Well, must be the same problem my brain has because I I can't hear Mabel talk ever anymore. It doesn't happen. Oh, Mabel.
Yeah.
Except for when it's drop zone. I hope we don't have to hear that
It's
anymore.
boss. Oh, that's one thing that I hope I don't have to hear for a while is and it's boss time.
Yeah.
I don't know where Sasha Banks is right now or what they're gonna end up doing with.
I think she's been drafted
yeah.
to AEW, maybe.
Yeah.
She wishes.
Draft her to a frozen contract for 3 years. I don't need her on
Yeah.
any of my TV at all.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So up next we have Intercontinental Champion Finn Balor.
The Balor Bulge has landed on SmackDown.
Yep.
The bulge demon.
I believe you mean the Balor Bulge experience.
Oh, and what an experience!
Oh my god.
But yeah,
Mr. Intern, that's the umbilical cord.
Oh, Simpsons references are the best. Yeah, you get to show up and you actually get to wrestle someone smaller than him for once. You don't really see that often. He had one.
It's hard to find people smaller than him.
Exactly. No, you got to have one heck of a great match against Ali, who never had a first name. Shut up! I don't even know what you're talking about.
Never, not once.
And hey, it surprisingly, after watching Raw, it surprisingly didn't lead to an Exus pin the wide champion scenario, so that's good.
Shoot, guys,
Yeah.
I
That's
just
true,
realized
yeah.
we can get Finn Daddy versus Daniel Bryan sometime in the future.
Yep.
Would you ever
Yep.
expect that to happen? I never did.
This is assuming Daniel Bryan's not injured, which is a whole
Yeah.
different can of worms. But that's one of the prevailing rumors is that he's got concussion issues after WrestleMania.
Yeah, he hasn't
Really?
shown up at all in 2 weeks.
Right.
I haven't heard
Yeah.
about this.
Well,
Yeah,
okay,
that was something I was reading today because they haven't said the company hasn't said anything about what's wrong with him or why he hasn't been on TV. And the speculation is usually if it's something like a muscle strain or just some random physical injury, they'll say that, or they'll at least come up with a story for like why he's gone. But it seems like with concussion issues, they tend to not say anything until they know exactly for sure
Yeah.
what's going on.
Oh man, that sucks. I didn't know that.
Yeah, that would be a real bummer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to bring you guys down.
No,
Hold on,
no,
I'll see if I can. I'll see if I can bring us back up.
no.
It's too bad it wasn't just a torn MCL. Then they would have replaced him with Kevin Owens.
There you go.
Big O. The Big
I was
O.
gonna say, maybe just look at my background and I'll be fine, but that was good old Terry.
Speaking of Big O, where does this New Day Big O storyline go? What do you guys got?
Well, we'll get to that a little bit later. I
Yeah.
think that's one of the questions from the superstars.
All right.
And if it isn't, we'll ask it anyway.
Pretty much, yeah. What do we got next? Next, we have who was brought out. What did Vince call him?
The greatest acquisition in the history of SmackDown. Damn it.
Thank you, Elias.
Hello, I am Elias.
The man who was better for SmackDown than Eddie Guerrero, Brock Lesnar, Kurt Angle, Elias.
I can see that.
Yep.
I'm not
I
fired
do-
up about Elias.
I do admit
Who's
I'm glad because I get to review Elias now. That's always a treat. Plus, it was just a master class in trolling the audience from Vince McMahon.
Oh, absolutely.
Made a little more curious about the fact that Vince never seemed like he gave a damn about Elias before. So that really leads credence to my fan theory that Vince McMahon, the character, and possibly Vince McMahon, the real life person, is progressively going more and more senile, and we're just a couple of weeks away from him booking, I don't know, like a parakeet in a match with Kofi Kingston for the title.
I'm picturing Frankie now, the Coco Beware at ringside, cheering Frankie on in a match against Kofi.
Oh, that would be great.
All right, and last but not least, the big dog, Roman Reigns.
Yeah,
who actually,
who was all
Abe's, you
punches.
beat me too.
Yeah, no, he came out, gave Elias a Superman punch, gave Vince a Superman punch because sure.
Why not say, hey, thanks for bringing me over to this show. Let me show you how much I appreciate.
Yeah,
pretty much, right? Yeah.
but yeah,
This is one where I think it's another one that in the AJ Styles and the Usos were ready to go to Raw and start having some fresh matchups and do some different things. Roman Reigns very much, man, I don't want to say overexposed because he's the guy, so he's gonna be getting all the TV time. But there was not really anything left for him to do on Raw, and so send him to SmackDown and let him run wild over.
Throw him in with a roster of guys.
Just in time for Fox.
Yeah, exactly. And throw him in with a roster of guys that can work their asses off, and I think he can get some great matches in over here.
Oh yeah.
Plus, on the plus side, now you no longer have to hear Michael Cole yell "the big dog" or "drop zone."
That's right. We'll see what happens. I have to start trying to pick out which, like when Styles is out there or when the Usos are out there, I'll have to actually listen to Michael Cole and see if I can pick out, oh, that's it. That's the buzz phrase. That's the one I'm going to get sick of after like a.
Well, if this week is any indication, when Styles is out there, Michael Cole acts like he might not know who AJ Styles is.
Gee. Well, he loves to have fun.
Yeah. Oh. I just
Alright,
me if
well,
that becomes a thing.
That was the Superstar Shakeup. We're gonna move into some questions from the people on Facebook, and we're gonna
That's
start
the
off
Kayfabe Soup universe.
the Kayfabe Soup. Yeah, I'm sorry, I'm totally distracted for a second. We're gonna start off with Kevin Golden, who asks, "What do you think the percentage of Jeff Hardy through his career of actually landing a Tom bomb, and percentage of HBK connecting with Sweet Chin Music when he tunes up the band?" What?
That was a lot of
What-
numbers. You should probably.
What do you
do that
think the
to me.
percentage of Jeff Hardy through his career of actually landing a Swanton bomb, and percentage of HBK connecting with Sweet Chin Music when he tunes up the band? That sounds like a
So
PBR question.
is the question which one is a higher percentage?
Or even like what
Like, which
percentage
one
do we
hit
think each
more?
of them have? I can say this much about the Swanton. Jeff Hardy has definitely amped up how often he connects with it, because now he just throws his whole body across his opponent's ribs instead of just
Yeah,
across
he
his shoulders.
he stopped caring.
Yep. He's probably so focused. He's probably just focused on like, oh God, let me land on my back. Just don't mess this up. I don't really care about how I land on the guy. Just let me get all the way over onto my back. I think if you're going to go a whole career, I think Jeff Hardy probably has like a higher percentage of actually hitting, not necessarily winning with it, but hitting it. Because it seems like Shawn Michaels, the second incarnation of Michaels, that was when it was really starting to get popular to kick out of finishers a lot. So even if he would end up winning with Sweet Chin Music, it seems like there would be at least 1 or 2 kickouts or counters before you get
people
to that
rolling
point.
out of the ring, and
I mean,
Yeah,
Undertaker
yeah,
kicked
yeah.
out his Sweet Chin Music more times in those 2 Mania matches than Swanton Palm this year, or like this SmackDown run with Jeff Hardy.
Right.
I think.
yeah,
Yeah. Okay.
sounds about right.
Next one we have from Robert Olivier, I think. And
I
he
say
asks,
Olivier in my head, but I have no idea if it's right.
Well, we were in
I don't know.
shows were in Montreal this week, so I say Olivier.
There you go.
He's asked, besides Charlotte, who do you think is Becky's biggest threat to take one or both her titles? Damn, he said besides Charlotte. I'm drawing blanks.
Were you about to just try to answer Charlotte right after reading the question?
No, because I had like, if you could go Ruby Riott on Raw and then Charlotte on SmackDown, but he said not Charlotte, so I'm kind of like crap. I don't have a SmackDown answer.
I almost feel like 90% of the women on SmackDown, if not 98, are all tied up in this tag team scene at the moment. Anyway,
Yeah.
Whoever wins Money in the Bank, that is my answer.
Yeah.
Unless
James
Like
Ellsworth.
Jesus, don't bring up that name.
Somewhere Mrs. PBR just shivered and got angry. She's gonna track you down. I think Habes is. I think Habes is right on the money. Whichever woman wins the Money in the Bank has the best chance of getting one of those belts, and then I think Becky holds the other one for a while. I mean, at least
Probably until-
SummerSlam, possibly long.
Pretty much.
Well, can I fantasy book for a second for you guys?
Go ahead.
Yeah, sure.
All right. So this is what I got in my head. She has to face Lacey Evans for her Raw belt, let's say. She beats Lacey Evans, and then in my head, like Charlotte just gets the opportunity right after the match, and then she'd lose to Charlotte. But maybe Charlotte wins that Money in the Bank, so like Becky Lynch has to defend her title 3 times in a row on a pay-per-view. Kind of my thought.
It would be interesting. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
That's
if she's
convoluted
still
enough that
beefing-
Vince McMahon would like it.
Yeah, I mean, if she's still beefing with the McMahons, maybe. That's just.
I
where
think
my
you
head
just
was going
answered the
with that.
question. It's going to be Stephanie McMahon.
Ooh,
Oh my god.
I hope not.
I hope so.
I mean, she can't let her brother show her up as best for the best in the world, right?
Right?
She'd be the
Oh my god, that'd be
undisputed best in the world.
that'd be great. Have her win both titles.
By SummerSlam. Oh man, if Becky Lynch. Oh goodness. Okay.
That'd be
Good.
great. All
Or
right,
just
all right.
get Vince Russo back so he can book David Arquette to win it.
Calm down.
I don't know.
Are you ready to
All right.
rumble?
Only if it's a light tubes on a pole match.
All right, next question is from Dave Bone. How long before he says KO, but I'm gonna say how long before Big O turns and power bombs Kofi on the apron? He says, my guess is just in time for the next pay-per-view. Also, which commentators will call it the hardest part of the ring?
Well, that'll definitely be Tom Phillips.
Well, that's the thing all commentators do, because I've gotten to the point now when we're watching a pay-per-view, regardless of who's on commentary, without fail, as soon as somebody takes a bump on that the ring apron side, I immediately go, that's the hardest part of the ring, and immediately the commentators go, that's the hardest part of the ring. So that's just the thing they
I think
all have
Renee's
to
the
do.
only one that doesn't, because she just yells, "Oh!"
That's
Well,
right.
if you translate it, like if you like an invention, like a Renee Young translate when there's different meanings to different O's, and so I think that case,
Yeah, that's
the
right.
O
I think-
would be Renee speak for it.
Yeah, that's right.
Oh, that's the hard.
It's her version of I am Groot.
There you go. Exactly.
We're
Um,
saying how long
for-
till KO turns?
Thank
the
you.
question?
Yeah. Before
Oh,
Big O
okay.
turns.
Big
First
O.
of all, does Kofi have anybody he's going against so far?
No, these
No.
past 2 weeks
No.
have been treading water, so there's been no storyline set up whatsoever.
Um, KO as his first opponent would be great. And if he doesn't have anybody, that's pretty much what's gonna happen. So I agree with it was Dave Bone on probably before the next pay-per-view.
Yeah, that's
I
that's pretty much where I'm thinking it'll probably go, but it's not where I want it to go. I'll lay out. We'll let go the answers, then I'll lay out my fantasy booking. So I'll let you guys get your thing in.
Go
I was gonna say I'll take a page out of the Habes book and do it. I think you can get to Kevin Owens versus Kofi Kingston without a heel turn. I think Kevin Owens, doing the power bomb on the apron, it's super predictable. So that's more of a reason they would do it. But it's just very predictable. I would rather see, since Owens is this good guy and he's good at doing that, I'd like to see them set up a match between the two where they set it up as like a friendly thing. Like, I know Vince hates babyface match, but they set it up as like a friendly, like, hey, what if you give me a title match? And they're like, sure, why not? And they have the match, whatever. And it's after the match where Kevin Owens maybe takes out his frustration on Xavier Woods, or just something a little bit different to kind of start getting that kind of heel thing going. I don't know. I don't want it a typical Kevin Owens heel turn. Otherwise, he'll be the next Big Show.
I'm gonna take the
Yeah.
over. Yeah, ooh, yeah. I'm gonna take the over. I think that's the SummerSlam match. KO versus Kofi.
Yeah, there's always
And
that possibility.
SummerSlam is building up to be a pretty damn good card from everything we've come up with so far.
Right.
Styles,
Yeah.
Who do you
Owens,
think?
Kofi, Usos, Viking experience.
Yeah. I wish we worked for WWE.
It's true.
We're almost there. We're almost there. This
Yeah,
type
no.
of rating, we're
We
almost
did
there.
get WWE to move Miz to Raw, so we've got.
We didn't do that. That didn't happen.
Oh, yeah,
That's
that was us.
exactly
We
what
did that.
happened, Habes. That's
No,
exactly
we
what
didn't make
happened.
that happen.
Stick
Yes, we did.
to the story, Abe.
Okay. What's intern's fantasy booking? I want to hear.
So basically, we all think KO's going to turn. We know it's coming. What if he stays out long enough for Big E to come back? Big E's been watching at home all this time, and he suddenly turns into Jealous E.
Nah, I love
And we
it,
get
Meg.
and we get that Big E heel turn that a lot of fans have been clamoring for instead of the predictable KO or Big O heel turn.
I'd love that. I think Big E as a singles heel would be awesome. That said, New Day is so unbelievably good together. I think they
Yeah.
can all get singles pushes without heel turn. But if somebody was going to turn heel, it would have to be Big E. He's the only one that could really pull off the heel mode.
Exactly.
Yeah, I thought of that too. Of Big E. Just honestly, my original thought is like every week they bring in a new person, and they just keep replacing him, and then he comes back like, "Oh, I'm replaceable by anybody." This
That
is
would
what you
be
guys thinking?
That would be fantastic as well. I mean, did you see the tweet he put out during SmackDown this week?
Yeah,
It's just his
face.
angry face.
Yeah.
I kind
Yeah,
of
I
like
thought
that idea with a revolving, door of third match.
Yeah, exactly. And like let them do the entrance, let them do everything, and he just
Mm-hmm.
comes back like, "Oh, I'm
There's
just."
a lot of baby faces. I could buy that. There's a lot of guys.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
exactly.
Sure.
Oh, now I almost wish Randy Orton would turn face just in time to do that one week.
Oh. Well, you know
Just
what? How about this? Let Randy Orton and then be Kofi Kingston's first challenger.
Yeah.
That'd be a good feud for the most of the start of the summer. I dig that.
I mean, hey, that was the feud that was supposed to lead Kofi to the
I
promised
was,
land until Randy Orton
just gonna
axed it.
say I don't know about putting Kofi with Orton. That didn't end well last.
You know what? Randy Orton can twerk though. There's a video his wife put on Instagram. Great.
uh,
Oh Jesus!
All right. I think that's it, right, guys?
yeah.
Well, no, wait.
Oh.
Oh yeah. Okay. There was a fourth question, but it was about the shakeup, so we covered that.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
never
we
mind.
covered that.
Forget I said that.
All right. So closing out here. as always,
Wait,
thank
wait,
you
wait,
for
wait,
listening.
wait.
Oh my
GRJ,
God, what?
was that the Q&A?
Yes.
Okay, I'm done.
I do have one thing before we close. I want to take a quick 2 minutes here to share with the people some fun facts. I have my WrestleMania database updated, and this particular show this year, WrestleMania 35, set a few records. Unsurprisingly, it was the longest WrestleMania at 5 hours and 23 minutes. That breaks the previous record by a solid 20 minutes. And it also had the most match time, 2 hours and 26 minutes of match time. So of that 5.5 hours, 45% of it was actual wrestling. And then the other thing is there were more title changes on this WrestleMania. 6 title changes, main show, not counting kickoff show, but 6 title changes is the most ever in a WrestleMania. And the one other thing is that the Daniel Bryan, this is my favorite thing, and this is how much of a unbelievable nerd I am. The Daniel Bryan Kofi Kingston match had 16 pinfall attempts between the two of them. Kofi went for 9 and Bryan went for 7. That is the most pinfall attempts, or most near falls, if you will, in a one-on-one singles match at WrestleMania since Shawn Michaels and Chris Jericho at WrestleMania 19. So that's a pretty neat accomplishment. I just had to sneak that in there. I'm done now.
No,
You did forget. Actually, though, you forgot the most important statistic of all. You said that 45% of WrestleMania time was dedicated to matches. What you forgot to mention was that 45% of that time was dedicated solely to Triple H against Batista.
That's true. That was a solid. Was that a full half hour? 26 minutes.
Yeah, something like that.
24:45. 24:40. Longest match on the card.
At least twice as long as it needed to be.
Exactly.
Yeah, pretty much.
Captain's not here. Get all our Triple H bashing in.
If you take out all the parts where it's Triple H and Batista laying on the ground, it would have been a 3-minute match.
What do I have to say about Triple H? He wants to have that take your career at the end, but he ain't getting it. Nobody cares. Nobody cares except for Argyle. Okay, closing out. Once again, thank you everybody for listening to the podcast. We are on Facebook. We are on Instagram. We are on Twitter. We are on Reddit. This podcast will go up to all the major streaming sites that you could find. We are also on Pro Wrestling Tees, where we just put up a brand new T-shirt. And we're also on Patreon, where you guys heard PBR talk about what's going on there. There's still time for you guys to join the predictions game, and hopefully, if you didn't join the first season of the fantasy wrestling, you could probably join season 2. We do have some cool gifts, prizes, if you come out champion and all of that. So, with that being said, everybody. No, nobody.
Top Guy Experience out.
You broke up on me, so I was waiting for the part where I was to say top guys out, and then I didn't hear